Welcome to The Clue, where history's mysteries are told in simple words for everyone, everywhere, Today's story takes us to West Africa, to Ghana, and to a man who became the face of African independence, Kwame Nkrumah. He was born in 1909 in a small town called Nkrofu. His family was modest, but young Kwame was bright and determined, He studied in Ghana, then traveled abroad to the United States and the United Kingdom, where he was deeply influenced by ideas of freedom, equality, and Pan-Africanism. So in the 1940s, Africa was still under colonial rule. Nkrumah joined movements calling for independence because he believed Africans should govern themselves and unite as one people. But by the early 1950s, he returned to the Gold Coast, as at then it was still British colony, and he became a powerful voice for independence. He founded the Convention People's Party, CPP, rallying ordinary citizens with the slogan, "Self-Government Now." His charisma and energy won massive support. In 1957, Ghana became the first African nation south of the Sahara to gain independence. So Nkrumah stood proudly as Prime Minister and later becoming President in 1960. He promised to build a new Ghana, modern, free, and a leader in Africa's liberation. Nkrumah's dream was bigger than Ghana because he believed in Pan-Africanism, the idea that all African nations should unite politically and economically. So he helped organize the Conference of the Independent African States and later became a founding member of the Organization of African Unity, that is the OAU. He spoke passionately about a United States of Africa. At home, he launched ambitious projects, like building schools, roads, factories, and the famous Akosombo Dam, which brought electricity to Ghana. He wanted Ghana to be a model of African progress, but challenges grew. The economy struggled under heavy spending, Some projects failed to deliver results. Opposition parties accused him of becoming too powerful. So in 1964, Nkrumah declared Ghana a one-party state, with himself as president for life. Supporters saw him as a visionary. Critics saw him as authoritarian. Meanwhile, Cold War tensions influenced African politics, Nkrumah leaned toward socialist policies and built ties with the Soviet Union and China, which worried Western power. But inside Ghana, discontent spread, strikes, protests, and plots against his government increased. But still, Nkrumah remained focused on his dream of African unity. He traveled abroad, speaking at conferences and meeting leaders. He believed Ghana's destiny was tied to the liberation of all Africa. But in 1966, while he was away on a peace mission, history took a dramatic turn. On February 24, 1966, Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in a military coup while visiting Vietnam and China. The coup was led by Ghanaian army officers and police, supported by some political opponents. Many believed foreign powers also played a role, fearing Nkrumah's socialist leanings and Pan-African ambitions. Nkrumah never returned to power. He lived in exile in Guinea, welcomed by President Sékou Touré, who made him honorary co-president. So while in exile, Nkrumah continued writing and speaking about African unity. He published books like Neocolonialism, that is the last stage of imperialism, warning that Africa's independence was threatened by hidden foreign control. Kwame Nkrumah died in 1972 at the age of 62 in Romania while receiving medical treatment. His body was later returned to Ghana, where he was honored as the nation's founding father. So today, Nkrumah's legacy is complex. Some remember him as a visionary who gave Africa hope and pride, while others criticize his authoritarian style and economic missteps. But his dream of African unity still inspires leaders and movements across the continent. Monuments, universities, and streets bear his name. His speeches continue to echo, the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa. Kwame Nkrumah, the man who lighted the torch of African freedom. The man who dreamed of a united continent and whose overthrow remains one of the great turning points in African history. So this is The Clue, bringing you the hidden stories of history in simple words. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of Kwame Nkrumah, hit like, share and subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Do you think his overthrow was driven by internal opposition or foreign influence? Let's uncover the truth together. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next one.